Hey, Skiba News Nation family, welcome to our weekly live stream. So we got a couple cool things for you guys, and I got a lot of cool stories.
Oh yeah, people are going to be so excited to hear about some of the interviews we have coming up. I know, Jeremiah, you just got to interview somebody very, very into the same kind of true crime history that you have been, but they're like tied to Hollywood. I'll let you introduce that topic. But for news this week for our live stream, there's some really crazy clips going around. It's just like Kash Patel speaking against the freedom of speech. We have things like Elon Musk causing a billion-dollar, above multi-billion-dollar crash of Netflix stock value because of their wokeism. All kinds of interesting little things. And not only that, but personally, Jeremiah, we're about to start the Feast of Sukkot in 2 days here, and we're so stoked. It's like the best time of the year. And we just put up our tent today. It's literally right out that front door, and it's I'm getting excited because it's really good to get out in the wilderness sometimes and look up at the stars, and the weather's changing. It's a beautiful time. So while there's all this craziness in the news, simultaneously I have this family fun, beautiful, just awesome time coming up as we celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles. So
Yeah, it sounds like fun, but the mosquitoes out here, man, I'd get bit up if I go out there. So we might set up a tent inside. I don't know if that's allowed, but we'll pretend to be outside in spirit.
I think your mother did.
Yeah, we could be on the patio or something.
Yeah. How about you, Opa? What's been up with you?
Oh, I've got a few news stories, but I don't like to have dark, bad. Everything in the news is so horrible now that I try to come up with some stories that are interesting, but doesn't keep you up at night.
And we do have a couple funny clips if Opa downloaded them in the file that, if we start getting too dark, we can pull up. So it's always good to laugh, guys. It's always important to laugh. I mean, I feel like that's why the Most High created laughter was, because during these dark times that we're living in, the most important medicine is laughing.
It's funny you bring that up because Sierra, my wife, and I, for our audience that's not familiar, we were watching just last night the new House of David show because a new season came out. I had watched the first season like a couple months back, and there's a new one that came out. So Sierra hadn't watched it, so we wanted to watch through it together. And my personal opinion is, there's that really famous Chosen show that came out several years ago. And this show is like even better produced than the Chosen series. And people were raving about the Chosen in its first early couple seasons based on its kind of production value and really, emotional, heartfelt, biblical values. But we were watching this David series, and in the show, there's this line from Samuel the prophet, and he's like, "God is funny. God is funny." He's writing this story. He's the author of the story, and he's funny in how he makes things play out in a way you wouldn't necessarily expect. And I think, it kind of ties into what you were saying. It's kind of cool. And I do believe that, man, there's so many coincidences in the world, and people try to outsmart the Almighty. But I think when he runs circles around the plans of the devil, it is actually hilarious when you just see, how outmatched the enemy of our souls is, even though he tricks us into thinking he's the big bad. But, I digress. Maybe let's get into some news. Who wants to go first?
I think we should go first with our first story. But before we play it, I want to stress this. So I've been thinking a lot. Okay. Because that's what I do. I think a lot. I'm channeling my inner Norm Macdonald recently, and there's a certain ethnicity of people, and because of YouTube, I have to be very careful. But they claim that they're the real ancient Egyptians, and they they create these Netflix shows where they remake Cleopatra, and they think that they're Egyptian. So I was like, who were the real ancient Egyptians? Like, really thinking about it. I mean, they worshiped cats, and then it came to me. Ancient Egyptians were cats because they have a giant sphinx statue that pretends to not notice that you're there. Isn't that amazing?
So let me get your theory straight. You're saying ancient Egyptians didn't just worship cats, they were cats.
Exactly.
Oh.
And the reason why they have whiskers is because the pyramids that they built with their mind, they built these pyramids, and all they are like, it tells them where they are at all times. Their ears go back. It's their GPS, if you will.
So the pyramids are like giant cat ears, is what you're saying.
Well, I'm saying if you were to keep digging, you'd just find a big giant cat.
Yeah, I always thought that the Egyptians were the pets of cats.
Yeah,
that's pretty true.
Lion people of Moab is an interesting biblical reference, but what's likely, Jeremiah, is it's a combination of all the theories. See, what it is that the extraterrestrial parasite that infected the brains of the people that owned the cats transmitted through their love of their feline furries. They'd rub them all over their face. The parasite would take over their brain. The brain parasite would tell them to make things that cats liked because, of course, the parasite came from the cats. And the cats,
needed something to rub their rump on,
Yeah, people's faces. And that's how ancient Egyptian pyramids were actually inspired, because they were like beaconing these. Okay, I don't know, man. Do we need to reel this back in?
Yeah, because it really has to do with that group of people that I was talking about that, remake all these movies and remake all these things. And I don't know if you know this, Jake, but you're a racist, and everybody is a racist, and everything is a racist. I'm a racist. You're a racist. We're all racist. So check this out.
Oops, what happened here?
What a cliffhanger to leave it on, man.
I'm a racist, you're a racist, we're all racist. Here we go.
Birthday to you, you live in the zoo, you look like a monkey, and you smell like one too. You've no doubt heard this stupid rendition of Happy Birthday that people have been singing since the beginning of time. They used to sing it at the Forum in Rome. Not really, but the point is it's been around forever. I remember singing this as a wee lad. Well, now in the year of our Lord 2025, it's racist.
Now at 10, a Florida mother is furious over the way her son's birthday was celebrated at school.
Please, notice how they take this seriously.
The kid's teacher first sang the original Happy Birthday song, but then this happened.
Would you like the funny song now that I sing to you? Happy birthday to you. You live in the zoo. You look like a monkey. And you smell like one too. Woo! Give a clap, everybody.
The incident happened at an elementary school in Polk County near Orlando.
The incident. The singing of the monkey Happy Birthday song.
She's now demanding an apology from the school, immediate disciplinary action, and counseling for her child.
Oh, off.
My skin is boiling. I don't even like racism, and to know where we come from and our ancestors, and for us to be labeled like that, because when they call us monkey, they basically saying that we're ugly, we act like a monkey, and all this and that. I don't like that at all.
Listen, I can't do this. The level of ignorance and unintelligence that is required here is astronomical. Did anyone bother to tell her that this song has been sung forever to kids of all colors? Or is this woman's face glued to the screen watching Joy Reid tell her that the sky is racist, the grass is racist, and every color of the rainbow is racist? I can't let this one go. Living in clown world is already painful enough. I won't let people like this make it even worse. So, you're wrong, lady. Grow a spine. And journalists that enable this behavior, stop being so stupid and so corrupt. Let's keep our civilization and not end up like this.
The Polk County Public Schools District says it's investigating the incident. The mother says she plans to transfer her son to another school.
I think that's for the best. But I'm sure you'll find some new insane racism accusation to go through around. Let's go back and look at a racism claim that was, at the time, the dumbest one ever.
It's a 9-second video causing uproar across America today. A beloved Sesame Place character, Rosita, appears to snub two little girls of color who reach out for a hug. Her post set off a firestorm on social media.
She has been canceled, and she has now been removed from the entire Sesame Street theme park.
A $25 million lawsuit is gone after a jury found Sesame Place not liable. Rosita is clearly wagging her finger at someone else before she even reaches these kids.
Officials say the gesture that Rosita is making is actually her turning down another mom who wanted her to pick up her infant, which is not permitted.
Oh ho ho, well that makes sense, doesn't it?
That is not what happened. Instead, there was gaslighting and complete disrespect to our communities and to our eyes, that somehow we did not see what we saw.
She does realize there's a person inside of Rosita, right?
She doesn't know that.
That these aren't the actual eyes that are seeing anything?
Sesame Place also claims the costumes sometimes make it hard to see at lower levels.
Well, no
She was ignored amongst the sea of other young white children who were able to interact, give hugs, high fives, and love from these characters that are supposed to be a source of safety, a source of equity.
Oh yes, the E for Equity episode, my favorite.
So there you have it.
Oh, man.
Sad, sad world.
Yeah. I think that we're way, way, way too serious now today. And I think, people just can't laugh and have humor and even laugh at themselves, or, everything's got to be racist. Everything's got to be, you've got to have, I don't know. I mean, I sang the song to Jeremiah. I sang it to Jeremiah's mother. When Jeremiah was...
That's racist.
Yeah, well, I didn't think so. And I mean, I've heard it. I heard it, when I was a kid. And it didn't bother me a bit. I thought it was kind of amusing. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. It's, laugh at ourselves. I don't know what's coming with this world. Everything's got to be contentious. It's got to be, let's take legal action against this, and God, you have to worry about what you say or how you say it, because, our interview with Glover, for instance, now understand why when he's talking, he has long pauses, because he's got to think very carefully about what he's saying, because someone may think that it's against them personally. Mm-hmm. And it's so ridiculous.
Yeah. And that's what makes, TruthorCon amazing, is that we can have, the discussions that are no longer allowed to be had at all, and it's going to be an awesome time there. And, we hope to see you guys there. But yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah, it's I think there's always sometimes people with prejudices, people who culturally don't know how to connect. Obviously, there's jerks out there. I think going from the biblical premise, love your fellow man, red, white, black, or blue, right? And I think while definitely it's probably not good to be racist, in a way, people naturally are tribalist, and people got to figure out how to interact with other people and not be so offended, because you got to understand somebody else's culture might not be sensitive to your understanding of interactions. And so I think that's why the freedom of speech is so important. in the United States, and there's certain words, mind you, that become inherently racist. And they become actually like magical incantations where some groups of people are allowed to say them and some people aren't. And in fact, these very things, these concepts of magic words that some people can say and some people can't, actually reinforces this divide and this ideology that, one race of people, quote unquote, race of people is allowed to say something, other people aren't. And I mean, there's a word for every demographic that is somebody else's no word. But to demonstrate, what you're talking about, Monty Python has a clip that I want to show that actually like reminds me of a certain word that people aren't allowed to say of a certain persuasion that some people are, and it just shows sometimes to me the silly nature of semantics and language, and how our language and the way we interact is how they justify these crazy, like, racist claims when, sometimes it wasn't intended at all. So you guys are going to get a kick out of this. Check this out. Certain no words.
Yeah.
The thing is that when I was over in England for, I don't know, 6-7 months, and I would watch a lot of that stuff. And the thing that really I really liked was the fact that the British sense of humor, they could make fun of themselves. They can make fun of their government and, like the Minister of Silly Walks, because they had so many ministries in England. And they would make fun of all of the documentaries that they had on there, and the people would enjoy it. They didn't think that it was something that was, quote, racist or something that was derogatory against them. They'd laugh at it. They would laugh with it because it wasn't something that was at them. They were, in other words, they weren't being laughed at. They were laughing with all of the craziness. And that's what I loved about the British.
Wow. They're a lot different today. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that may be true because that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's actually story just came out today of a child, an underage person who, just by viewing a social media post, now we already know their freedom of speech is totally dead. You can go to jail for a meme in Great Britain. However, just by viewing a post, the police showed up at this child's house and were demanding her phone. And then they were like, "Oh, you're not going to cooperate? We're taking you to prison." And this is all over the concept of being caught for viewing something they deemed, wrong or against culture or wokeness or whatever. And man, language is such a thing, and it's how these divides are built. And I think that's why I really like that you're bringing up this, funny, overreaction to things that weren't actually meant to be racist, but people are trumpeting this so that they can play a victim card, so that they can get attention, and it's not all negative. It's not all attention just for, personal gain. But you do see the racist thing pulled a lot in certain leanings to kind of trump and shut down the other side of the conversation. And even if somebody isn't inherently trying to be a bigot or whatever. And to finish off this section, maybe I just want to quote the words of Owen Benjamin. I might not be a racist, but I am a height supremacist. Small people have something to prove, so I'm all about the tall ones, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's just, geez.
Yeah.
Short.
Yeah, everybody needs to lighten up a little bit.
No reason.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I do have, speaking of, racist, Uppa, do you have that funny clip? The one that says
what?
funny? The one that I uploaded, it just says funny.
Yep. Here we go. Ready?
This is our current politics, and it's amazing.
Es mucho simple. El Democrat Party es mucho retardo, okay? Mucho retardo. Especially el Hakimo Jeffries y el Chucko Schumer. They are extra retardo. So El Presidente and I cannot negotiate with these Democrat retardos. It's imposibly, mucho imposibly. Gracias, amigos. Oh, and make sure you El voto for LJD Vanso in El 2028.
This reminds me of the sombrero video they had playing in the White House conference room during the shutdown, and Trump tweeted out, "The sombrero will grow every day that the Democrats keep the government closed."
It's all over X. I mean, it's everywhere. You can't get around it. So it's like we're bringing back common sense and normal.
Hey, this was a really good comment here. It says, "We were once considered humankind. Now we're human race." Not so funny considering the racist card is so often played. And to break down the real motivation, in my opinion, is they've transitioned to this race baiting ideology. We all bleed the same color, in my opinion, but of course, the race baiting has been meant to divide and conquer. And they know we're easier to control if we're sectioned into populations that, are clicked. And I think that's kind of the motivation with all of this. What is the DEI? It wasn't DEI. It was the something that was being taught in schools that just recently was ousted under Trump's administration. Critical race theory. Critical race theory was being taught as a foundation in schools, and it's just inherently racist in itself. It's like, yeah, there's other racist people, but that means the people that they're racist against should be their own separate group that should have very strong opinions to go and clash with the racists, right? And it's like, really, are we not all just Americans, so to speak? And even from a biblical perspective, let's talk about the tribes of Israel, because I know your father came up against this concept with the Black Hebrew Israelites, as he himself has, claimed, Israel is the dispersed of the house of the Most High, that any tribe, tongue, color, nation could be grafted into Israel. And even in certain religious sects, there's like inherent racism, and it just doesn't make sense. Like with genetics, if you look at a video put out by Michael from Vsauce here, and I used to use it in a presentation I would give regarding the possibility that every single one of us shares at least a drop of blood with an ancient Israelite, because we all share a common ancestor as recent as 700 BC. And, of course, the tribes were formed more around the 1200 BC time frame there in the land. And so it's interesting, because the northern house was dispersed to the four corners. And so we all likely have a genetic ancestor that traces back to at least one of the tribes of Israel, which is very fascinating, because in a way, then through our faith, belief, and actions, and the culture that we decide to, apply to our family life, to our relationships, to our love of the Most High, and our love of our neighbor, that's the identity we can hold on to. It doesn't have to be based on your tone or anything. And I know your father always would come up against people who were like, "Oh no, you can't claim to be Israel. You're an Edomite or whatever." And so there's these wide extremes to the spectrum of how race is used to bait and to justify just not loving your brother, right? But anyways,
we're all American. That's how I see it. And even if you're not American in the chat, we're the same. That's how I see it.
No, we're all humans. We're all human.
Haven't you heard the song?
We are the world.
That's right.
Until they started singing Swahili, and then Waylon Jennings said, "I ain't singing that. No good old boy gonna sing Swahili." And
it's a small world after all.
So many artists I've heard over the years said they hated that song, "We Are the World." Why? It's
pretty bad. It's because it's a small world. It just gets stuck in your head.
Yeah.
But hey, before we move on, do you want to play this new Truth or Con ad that I made?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it. Here, I'll add it. The reason why we're doing our conference, TrutherCon in Dallas, is because that was the first time the word conspiracy theorist was used to demonize people that thought outside the box, really questioned the narrative, and that Warren Commission report was the first time that they used it against us.
TrutherCon is a mixed bag of presenters from a variety of YouTube channels. And so what we're doing is we're having people come and present their best case for whatever it is they believe is the most important thing to share. And then we're opening it up for open questioning from the audience to question anything that's presented. It's a conference to have all of these different individuals who are well researched in their particular area that they present as an important truth to be able to be questioned. And then we're going to have a panel at the end of be able to cross-examine different speakers.
Get your tickets. Get your tickets.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
I like that. I like that one.
It's gonna be an awesome event. I can't wait to not get it over with, but just get to it.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, Jerry. Gary.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Well.
Gotta get my truth whistle. Thank you, Jerry.
That's a good whistle, man.
A truther whistle.
Now, listen, anybody who drops a super chat, you do get a whistle, apparently. So just keep that in mind. And you're also helping support what you love. And you're keeping us on the air. So thank you. Yeah. Well, Opa, did you have anything, or you want me to get into it, guys?
Well, I've got some, but we can kind of mix it up if you want. Doesn't matter to me.
Okay. I'll run through, and if you have any that connect, just shout out, and we'll plug it in there.
All right.
All right. So let's see here. I just want to start off with this funny meme because I've seen this picture before, but I always lose it, and I saw it pop up again. Is give me one reason why any civilian needs access to something like this. And now, of course, maybe it's a little small on the screen here, but this is just a camera, by the way. So. Pretty interesting. What does it represent? It represents our ability to record audio, video, to share, have that freedom of speech. And I think this is interesting to me, primarily because there's hold on, we're having some glitches over here on my end.
I mean, if I saw somebody walking down the road with that camera, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, whoa, what's that?
I do have a firearm on me, but if you walked into 7-Eleven with that, they'd freak out.
Yeah, that is true. Yep.
Ought to put a red tip on it.
Like a play gun.
Yeah.
So why is this interesting? I'm trying to find the actual video real quick. Let's see. I recently had a clip of Kash Patel talking about the freedom of speech, and it looks like I've lost the video. One moment. Hey, live. Here we go. All right, I got it. All right, so this is head of FBI calling for the end of the First Amendment. So it's fitting we start off with that picture of, you're not allowed to have weapons like these. And it's actually just your ability to record and tell and share and expose. I see this is going to be a major topic, everyone, because AI and all of the mixed bag of false information and maladjusted information to using AI and whatever, it's going to taint the waters to where they are going to have some kind of argument against this First Amendment right in America. But let's check out this little video. FBI director talks Kirk assassination probe, and how social media is wildly out of control.
Out of control, and there's too much clickbait in this country. And one of the things I highlighted to Congress in my testimony last week was, if we want to protect our youth, we got to get more involved in social media and online platforms, because that's where the folks, the assassins of this world, get radicalized. That's where they're the lone wolf actors in general. And so we have to get after that problem set. And I asked for Congress to help in doing so. But speaking of Charlie Kirk, who was a very dear friend of mine, and then I was tasked with leading the nationwide manhunt to find the perpetrators involved. Of course, we were going to use every resource we have to find every single person involved. And the investigation is still ongoing. But we, as one of the pillars of my leadership here at the FBI, is transparency. We've produced more documents to Congress than my last two predecessors combined by twofold. Just to put it in perspective. So when we take our investigations out to the streets, I have the same ethos. And this is how we got Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin, so fast. The Boston Marathon bomber, which happened in downtown Boston during the Boston Marathon, took 5 days, and there was a police officer was killed.
Wait, where did it happen?
Luigi Mangione, who
I'm just kidding.
allegedly murdered an individual, the CEO of the healthcare company, in downtown Manhattan in broad daylight, took 5 days to find it. Our investigation is very much ongoing. But we've also, Armstrong, in an unusual thing, put out publicly more information as to what we found, because it is of such public importance. The flip side of that is the social media people get involved and they come run with their crazy conspiracy theories because it makes them money. It gives them clickbait. And I don't work for them and I don't respond to them. My duty is to the American people. If there was anyone else involved in Charlie Kirk's murder, you can look at our record. We'll find them and we'll get them.
So you have the director there kind of referencing some of the alternative stuff coming out. And, you know, it is interesting that just recently we have this. Breaking update, federal judge greenlights shutdown of InfoWars. Alex Jones fires the bat signal on what could potentially be the end of an era. But never forget, no matter what happens, InfoWar never dies because you are the InfoWar. All right, so just a few
and
seconds.
Helen Keller was a fraud. Don't ever forget.
Well, this is quite a moment for us here. We've held out for many, many years against the deep state and the system attacking us. And the federal judge that has been presented with all the corruption, all the fake auctions, all the fraud he's admitted that happened, just about 45 minutes ago said, hey, you can, the stay's lifted, you can seize InfoWars. And so they don't want money. It's all an appeal anyways. They want to destroy it. They say in the news, we want to shut him down. That's our mission. Then they also say he won't give us money. He has hidden money, which isn't true. So it's the most deceptive garbage run by the Democrats, the DOJ previously. The current DOJ had an investigation going. Their idea, Ed Martin, cut and dry the documents. That got killed last week by the deputy attorney general who really runs things. And that's where we are in the year 2025. So I'm going to go to break here for a moment. And then I'm going to go with Harrison Smith and give more details of this. But it's been the fraud and the corruption and the stalking and the lies to shut us down. Obviously, it's me they want to silence and the guests and what we do here. And now the whole world is waking up. And you know, if they thought they could shut me down and shut all of you down, they fail. But it's a symbol. And the more they couldn't shut us down, the more they wanted to. And the more we survived, the more people said, oh, it's not real, even though I'm in court and in battles and having them get all my discovery and then leaking select stuff, you know, and just all of it. And I'm in the arena fight with everything I got. It's been a tiny percent of the listeners that have actually supported. And I'm not mad at the others that didn't, but when you stand up for us, you stand up for yourself. So all I ask for today is your prayers and that justice be done. But nobody keeps stuff in bankruptcy 3 years. Judge Lopez, a Trump appointee, has ruled 10 times in a row against them. This 11th time he did. He shut down their fake auction. He sent in private security to shut us down. He did it on and on and on because it was illegal. He'd say, you can't do this. But now that the state courts got maneuvered in position, he said, fine, I'm Pontius Pilate. I wash my hands. And so you can do this. And they say they're going to come in and operate as us, pretend they're me. They said they own my name. They said the 13th Amendment against slavery doesn't apply to me. They literally said that in the filing almost a year ago. You look it up. And to me, it's just, if they can get away with this, they can get away with anything. Yeah, I'll continue on. Hell, everybody's going to want me on. It's going to be a huge explosion. But
we'll have you on, Alex.
Yeah, they want to harass me forever, which is fine.
Yeah. So coming after InfoWars, trying to shut him down. He's been sued out of oblivion for bringing up beach-related name topic, right? And so very interesting. I wonder, in a way, though, could this at any level be associated with some of the coverage we've seen coming out of, well, InfoWars regarding some other major anomalies in certain, big topics? Check this out.
Not treated a human being that's been shot. Okay. Those of us that have know blood is everywhere, Alex. It is, I don't want to say the F word, everywhere.
Blood is fucking everywhere.
It's fucking everywhere. It'd have been over everybody's
live show.
Hands.
Sorry.
It would have been over all of their shirts, pants, especially an artery shot like that. It's not possible that just no one has any blood on even their hands. So to me, what I want to know now is, you know why I was very suspicious about why we're not getting this high fidelity camera footage from right behind Charlie Kirk. And now I want to know, show me that footage. Because that footage is going to show me exactly what you're doing to treating Charlie Kirk. And I think, again, I'm not a conspiracy theory guy.
Candace Owens
on your show enough times that you would agree. I'm
watch her stuff about this.
Tell me why Turning Point, no one treated Charlie Kirk. No one tried to stop the bleeding. You can see it right here. No blood on anyone's hands. Weird things being passed off. Bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. So I'm not willing to say this is nefarious, but I am willing to say nobody tried to save his life.
Yeah, that's something that stood out to me, because you see some of the comments Kash Patel made, right? And he's referencing these conspiracies. And then we have these blatant things like, why did nobody try to stop the bleeding from his neck? What in the world? Are you serious? That is like, and then there's several other things like you see coming out from this interview, breaking down. Obviously, this is being way, saturated. So everybody's seen this stuff. And I'm not trying to trauma dump again and get everybody, triggered because we all watched it together. But it is interesting to me, right, that you have Alex Jones covering some of this alternative perspective that there's something fishy to this, and then boom, he's getting shut down from InfoWars. You see that parallel?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty crazy, right? Well, maybe this next clip ties in. I don't know. It might not. This could just be conspiracy fodder. Or some of these things could be all connected. How much secret info can one video leak? I want to ask that. So check this out.
Country that the human body is almost 80%, 90% water. And it's also got electrolytes in it, which we know to be salt, potassium, different minerals. That means we're a salt battery. No different than the car battery, different than something like that. And there's a patent actually called the Cali patent, which I'll hold up here for the camera to see. And this patent actually was developed in 1897, and not much has been done with it because at that time everyone was afraid of electricity. In this case, Dr. Clark developed a product using a 9-volt battery. I'll just show you in the back here. There it is, 9-volt battery. And this particular unit, you just snap on your wrist with 2 wristbands.
We only have a minute. Yeah.
You snap it on your wrist just to prove that I'm a circuit. I push the little green light, and the thing is on. And if I put my hands together, you can hear that I'm a circuit, and I'm a closed circuit at this point. Now,
Why do we get a sound when you put your hands together?
Because I closed the circuit. Now, when I take my hands apart, obviously the electricity is now being able to flow through the body. The electricity can't go through the digestive tract. So in the digestive tract, to kill the microorganisms, the specific parasites, she's found the effectiveness of the black walnut, which the native Indians used for cleansing many years ago. The black walnut, in its green hull form, kills many of the microorganisms. And in conjunction with another product called wormwood, and cloves, typical cloves that you would get at the store. These three in combination have the ability to go in and kill all the pathogens.
All right. So while there's some things, I totally clicked the wrong video. So no, that isn't actually connected to what I was trying to point out here. But this other video is all right. My bad, guys. Check this out.
Super interesting, though.
Hezbollah to buy this.
Well, obviously, they didn't know that they were buying it from Israel.
Now, well, first of all, let me give some backstory. This is a post from somebody claiming to be Mossad, and they admitted this last year in a 60 Minutes interview. And here's the quote: "We create a pretend world. We are a global production company. We write the screenplay. We're the directors. We're the producers. We're the main actors. The world is our stage." So while the other video about like closed circuit or whatever, you guys are probably like, how does this connect? My mind is melting. No. All right, whatever. This is the real video I was getting at. Check it out.
How did you convince Hezbollah to buy this?
Well, obviously, they didn't know that they were buying it from Israel.
Who did they buy it from, or think they were buying it from?
We have an incredible array of possibilities of creating foreign companies that have no way being traced back to Israel, shell companies over shell companies who affect the supply chain to our favor. We create a pretend world. We are a global production company. We write the screenplay. We're the directors. We're the producers. We're the main actors. The world is our stage.
How did you convince?
Yeah, so agents coming right out and describing what conspiracy theorists are claiming. Guys, I mean,
that's pretty ballsy if he really is, telling the truth.
Yeah, it does get interesting when things like this show up on my news feed. Let's see here. All right, here's what it is. So we know we've talked about Maha and the concept that RFK has been very vocal and outspoken about what's. And yeah, so here's what the video is. And actually, I don't think I'm going to play this because what it is the public kind of condolence of Pfizer and the $750 billion that are going to be put towards the very thing RFK previously had come out exposing. And yet you see him just recently standing up there side by side with the CEO and being like part of this whole reestablishment of the pharmaceutical industry, despite all that he's claimed. And so to me, in a lot of ways, it does show that sometimes they're just playing along to get along or something. The comment here, RFK sold out, standing silent next to Trump while he praises Pfizer is all the proof you need. And again, told you so. And this is coming on the heels of all of the stuff that, they've been talking about, taking dyes out and certain ingredients out of certain things we're not allowed to say. And yet we have a doubling down with a $750 billion push to the very company that through emergency use authorization caused adverse effects in millions of people, likely.
And he also killed a baby bear, as we learned last week during History's Mysteries. So sketchy to say the least.
If you guys, okay, Jeremiah, last Friday when you shared that story of RFK and the bear, I had never heard of that. And so, like, if you guys didn't know that there's something that connects RFK to a weird dead bear in Central Park, you guys should go and check out our last episode because it's really interesting. But anyways, I'm not going to play the video. Obviously, the WHO still controls the world in a way. But we do see interesting things in this realm of the world stage and the use of language and this or that. saw this. This is Putin's special envoy for Russia dropping Q anonymous posts or like reposting Q drops, right? Wild times. So it says, what if China, Russia, and others are coordinating with POTUS to eliminate the NWO? Who controls NK? Who really controls NK, right? And, you see things like this and it like makes you eyebrows rise, right? Because Q has obviously been painted as this psyop thing. But then when you see political figures like the special envoy for Russia reposting it, who's directly connected, it makes me wonder in a way. Yeah, that's right. It is the conspiracy of our generation because it's the big question. The big Q. Is it true? Right? And I wonder, could Putin be like, yeah, secretly, I am a Q fan because I'm a bro. Trump's a bro. I don't know, man. With that said, let's get into some more actual news. I know we went down the conspiracy trail there for a moment, everybody, but we'll reel it back in. Check this out. This is on camera. This morning, President Trump ordered a strike on a narco trafficking vessel affiliated with terrorist organizations headed to America loaded with drugs. And the footage is just like crazy. And it's being posted to the White House Twitter page, right? Of them blasting this boat just to kingdom come.
Full of fentanyl. Those poor fish.
Boom. Yeah.
All those fish are high now. High on fentanyl. Gonna have some fentanyl fish.
I'd worry about the sharks.
Yeah, that's how I like my sharks and fish is fentanyl.
Yeah, there's some interesting things with this. I'm trying to find my other article that's related to Venezuela and let's see here. When you have a lot of news stories, sometimes you can get lost in the mix.
I do feel this way too, Jerry. Sometimes, sometimes it take it a little bit too far, but I got a couple buddies that are like real deep into it, and I can't talk with them sometimes because not everything is everything.
Wait, no. Okay, here we go. So in relation to this video we just watched, we have here U.S. military preparing to seize ports and airfields in Venezuela. So this is a full-scale war on Latin American drug cartels. And it's interesting. We'll see how Venezuela responds to these actions. Here's a video that President Trump posted to his Truth Social account. And I don't know how to interpret it. You guys do it for me and tell me in the chat what you think Trump's trying to convey with this video.
His Truth Social account. Last night.
Have you seen this, Jeremiah?
We need more cowbell.
Yeah, he's about to drain the swamp.
Donald Trump just posted this to his Truth.
Oh man. So I've been really enjoying actually some of the AI stuff Trump has been reposting, just simply because it's kind of hilarious. But
he's our president too, which makes it even more amazing. The president of the United States is putting out memes. I mean, who would have ever thought that?
Yeah, it's a different world to live in, and I think part of it is, I know he's a showman, he's an actor, he's hilarious, probably the funniest president we've had. I don't know, Teddy Roosevelt might have had a couple good old bro jokes, but
Well, Reagan was pretty good too.
Oh, Reagan? He was a
Yeah.
comedian?
Well, Trump really, really admires Reagan. That's why he has his portrait in his office. He wants to be like Reagan.
Yeah, I'll find some and play them in future episodes.
Yeah. Well, it's not only the acts against the terrorists, the narco terrorists, right? But we have the liberal terror in Portland is going to be quickly coming to an end. Check this out.
Been the government. On another matter, despite the Democrat shutdown, President Trump's efforts to make America safe again continue. President Trump believes that American cities should be the safest places on earth, and he is committed to making this a reality. We've already seen that President Trump successfully made D.C. safe again in only a few weeks. That same crime crackdown will continue to happen in cities across the country and is happening in Portland, Oregon. President Trump will end the radical left's reign of terror in Portland once and for all. The president has directed Secretary Hegseth to provide all necessary troops to protect war-ravaged Portland and any ICE facilities under siege from attack by Antifa and other left-wing domestic terrorists. What's been allowed to happen in Portland, and we saw disturbing video footage of this last night, this is not peaceful protesting, this is left-wing anarchy that has been destroying this great American city for years, leaving police officers battered, citizens terrorized, and business properties damaged. Since early June alone, Antifa terrorists have laid siege to the ICE field office in South Portland. These radical left-wing lunatics have violently breached the ICE facility by using a stop sign as a battering ram, hurled explosives and other projectiles at law enforcement, repeatedly assault and dox officers, berate their law-abiding neighbors, and have even rolled out a guillotine in front of the ICE facility. And more people should be reporting on that. President Trump has sent federal law enforcement to protect federal assets and arrest those fueling this violence. Just last night, we saw an extremely troubling incident where conservative journalist Nick Sorter was captured on video being taken into custody by the Portland police after he was ambushed by Antifa and was defending himself from these assaults. But instead of arresting these violent mob members night after night after night who are ravaging this community, the police arrested a journalist who was there trying to document the chaos, and everyone in this room should be extremely concerned about that. The Department of Justice spoke with that journalist this morning, and they will be launching a full investigation into his arrest. This incident is part of a troubling trend in Portland where left-wing mobs believe they get to decide who can visit and live in their city. It is not their city. It is the American people's city, and President Trump is going to restore that. I just spoke with the president about this, and he has directed his team here at the White House to begin reviewing aid that can potentially be cut in Portland. We will not fund states that allow anarchy. There will also be an additional surge of federal resources to Portland immediately, including enhanced CBP and ICE resources. Law and order will prevail, and President Trump will make sure of it. With that, I'll take your questions, and we will begin today's briefing with.
Yeah, whew. It's very interesting, this radicalization of the left when they've for so long been so anti-Second Amendment, and now you're seeing them walking the streets with rifles, and this brings to mind this video that just recently went viral, which is I guess it was a journalist or something. This is in Portland, where Antifa is threatening a journalist, and I think she might have referenced it in her news briefing here, but yeah, this is what happened.
Hey, what are you doing? Hey, I didn't do anything. You get out of here. Don't try to hit me.
Get out of here.
Well, I have
Get out of here. Don't come back.
Get away from
see
me.
You again?
Get away from me, sir. You're pushing me onto the road.
Get the f out of here.
Let me
Yeah,
move.
this
Get out.
is the best video ever.
Hey, sir, stop it.
Walk.
Stop.
Walk.
What are you doing? Why are you so mad? I didn't do anything.
You did.
What did I do?
Walk.
I haven't done anything.
Walk. Do not come back.
Watch out.
You come back, I'm gonna smoke you, dude.
Really?
Yes, really. I'm
Why?
gonna smash that camera.
Stop it. Stop. Sir, stop it.
Stop sticking your camera in people's fucking face.
I have the right to be here.
Okay, did I say
I have the right to be here. I have the right to film. You have DHS watching you right there, lasered on you. You have a sniper lasered on you right
I
now.
don't give a
Stop it.
stop
You-
sticking your camera in people's face.
I didn't do anything wrong.
Okay.
You have a sniper on you right now. You have a sniper on you right now. Hey,
Wow.
what are you?
You have a sniper on you right now, so stop being a jerk.
It's probably just his buddy just behind him, like shining it on.
Yeah, but I mean, it is just so much. I did want to point this out. My buddy recently did a speech at our Ancient Path Fellowship thing regarding the concept of how through these big emotional political memorials and all this stuff, be very careful with where we are being led, because in one hand, it's such a positive thing for communities to come together and to, call out this wrong, but also we have to ask, where's the guiding hand leading us? There's some interesting things like this. Live show, guys. This is usually what we cat out in our our other thing. Oh, well, I'll start with this. Check it out. Thomas Massey, Representative Thomas Massey, right? He posted during this government shutdown, the best thing about government shutdowns, no chemtrails. And it's actually so true. It's like, oh gosh. Yeah. Let's see here.
While you're pulling that up, do you mind if I share something with you guys?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So did you guys know that there is a Helen Keller has an official Instagram account? The real Helen Keller. You see that? And if you go down, I follow her. All the photos are just black. It goes on and on. Lindsay found this and showed me, and I couldn't stop laughing because they all say something. So go follow the real Helen Keller on Instagram.
That's funny. Yeah, I know I mentioned earlier the drop in Netflix. I didn't realize it was $500 billion loss. That is insane. Wait, no, not 500 billion. 20. Wait, here we go. Netflix has lost 25 billion in market value since Elon called them out for pushing radical trans ideology on children. That's power.
Elon posted something and it went viral after that. That's all I saw on X is cancel your X, or not your X, your Netflix. So
I know
who have stock in Netflix.
Oh shoot. Exactly.
Sucks to suck.
Well, you should. Yeah.
I got something on Elon too.
Sure. While you pull it up, I just wanted to say, I know we've talked conspiratorially about Elon in the past, and there's always a part of me that is very cautious of the angel and white light, coming as a savior and saying all the right things. But I can't help but to say I'm like cheering this kind of stuff on, like, because I agree with the sentiments that are being posted, and I agree with the use of X as this, unfettered bastion of freedom of speech, right? At the same time, there's always that reservation, but I could cheer something like this on because I totally see the agenda. There's memes going around of like big beds trying to be shoved into a car, and it's like Netflix trying to fit a trans person into every single video. Like they're just like shoving it in unnecessarily. But all right, Opa.
All right. Well, this has to do with Elon and Starlink. So let's take a look.
What goes up must come down. In January 2025 alone, over 120 Starlink satellites fell from space, burning up in Earth's atmosphere. While these dazzling fireballs light up the night sky, concerns about environmental impact and atmospheric pollution are rising. So, what's causing this surge in Starlink crashes, and should we be worried? Starlink, a satellite internet service developed by SpaceX, aims to provide low-cost, high-speed internet across the globe, especially in remote areas. Since its launch, SpaceX has deployed nearly 7,000 satellites, creating a mega constellation orbiting Earth. But recently, an unprecedented number of these satellites have been deorbiting and burning up at an alarming rate. Astronomers tracking these satellites report that around 4 to 5 Starlinks are re-entering Earth's atmosphere every single day. The primary reason? The mass retirement of first-generation Starlink satellites. Over 500 of the 4,700 Gen 1 satellites have already reached the end of their lifespan, making way for newer, more advanced models. On January 29, 2025, as many as 62 fireballs were spotted across Wisconsin, Michigan, and Illinois. Just one example of how frequently these re-entries occur. While these satellites are designed to disintegrate completely upon re-entry, they release aluminum oxide, a compound linked to ozone layer depletion and atmospheric pollution. Each Gen 1 Starlink satellite produces approximately 30 kilograms of aluminum oxide when it burns up. Scientists have raised concerns over the accumulation of these particles in the upper atmosphere. A 2023 study found that 10% of aerosols collected 60,000 feet above Alaska contained metals from satellite burnups. The study also revealed an 8-fold increase in stratospheric pollution between 2016 and 2022. Beyond environmental concerns, some scientists worry about the potential risks posed by uncontrolled space debris. While the chances of debris hitting an aircraft are low, researchers warn of possible disruptions in busy flight zones due to re-entering space junk. Despite these challenges, SpaceX continues to expand its Starlink network. The company plans to eventually launch up to 42,000 satellites, replacing older models every 5 years. The newer Starlink 5-2 satellites are nearly 3 times heavier than their predecessors, raising further questions about their environmental impact when they inevitably re-enter Earth's atmosphere. So, what does this mean for the future of satellite internet? While Starlink provides critical connectivity in disaster zones, remote regions, and even war zones, the long-term consequences of mass satellite re-entry remain uncertain. Are we conducting an uncontrolled experiment in atmospheric chemistry? Scientists and policymakers will need to weigh the benefits of global internet access against the potential environmental costs. As humanity ventures further into space, managing our cosmic footprint is more important than ever. What do you think? Should we be concerned about the impact of Starlink on our atmosphere, or is this just a necessary step toward a more connected world? Let us know in the comments below. Remember to like, share.
Yeah,
I don't like that it can hit an airplane. Gosh, one more thing that I need to worry about.
Yeah, there's a big report going around of a satellite that apparently crashed into a house recently, and it's one of those that, you know, didn't burn up on reentry, if you know what I mean. It looks like the balloon popped type falling out of the sky.
I was going to say, all of these, of course, what we were watching there were animations as far as all of the stuff that was up in the air. But whenever we're supposed to see whatever NASA shows, or when you see a rocket go up and they've got the video of the rocket going up and everything, I don't see those 20, 30, 40,000 satellites and junk and everything that's going around the Earth. Where is it? You know, it's weird.
Yeah, personally, I think it's going to taint the heavens that we all look up to, that for thousands of years people have looked up at the stars and they didn't have these things zipping across our field of view. And to me, as thousands and thousands and thousands of these bodies are being put up into the heavens, in a way, it's like it's the type of litter that we all are going to have to just accept, because there's no rules against littering the sky above our head with stuff. And it's troubling, because I like to talk about what we look at in the night sky and talk about, like, for example, tonight, if you guys go outside and look up in the sky, the moon and Saturn will shine side by side, creating a rare celestial spectacle visible to the naked eye. Now, this is stuff that I think is fascinating. And I think, according to the Genesis, the sun, moon, and stars were put in the sky for signs, seasons, and appointed times. And in a way, whenever we see the thousands of satellites that are going to start streaming across the heavens, much like when I saw Elon's Starlink go across like Santa's sleigh, it might be cool. But can you imagine, 20 years from now, when there's so much clutter in the sky that we don't get that unadulterated experience that for hundreds and thousands of years our ancestors have looked up at the heavens and seen the just the natural spectacle that will now be tainted by man's hand. You know what I mean?
It'll be a Wall-E in space.
Oh yeah.
Did you see the it was at Burning Man, and it said the F word, and then it said Elon, and on the side it said there was like a little piece of paper and it said free Wi-Fi, and then on the back it was Starlink was the free Wi-Fi. So I think Elon put that there for people to take a photo in front of the F Elon big thing. So
well, a couple of years ago when at Hebrew Fest, we were scrambling to try to find a Starlink to take with us up to Hebrew Fest, and because they were all at Burning Man.
Yeah,
they had sucked up all the Starlinks. We were lucky to find one.
I will admit, Starlink is the best internet I have found for rural area RV type travelers. And this is an unbiased user review for, it's like there's not a lot of stuff out there that allows you to get on the internet in the middle of nowhere. But I think, isn't that the way that he's convincing basically the whole world to jump on his system? And that's always been a question, because the internet is this amorphous thing where if enough people go to the path of least resistance, you end up with systems of use like Google, where you literally don't use anything else except Google to search for things. And well, it's changing now with AI, LLMs and stuff. But is Elon making the internet so accessible, so good that people are going to shift to where it's all only on the Starlink system, and then he just becomes the main internet guy and the main free speech communication guy and the main space travel guy and the main everything guy, and then at that point it's like we all love Elon for how cool he is and all the cool things that we agree with him that he says. But once he has the power, how long is he going to be the same? I hope he stays, as a, well, I can't make any comments on anybody's, motivations, but, we can only hope for the best, right?
Yep.
Speaking of things falling from the sky, check this out. This is a Chinese National Day drone show in Hunan, ends in chaos, fire, and falling drones. We've seen all those footage of the cool drone spectacles. Well, look what happens when it goes wrong. It looks like pretty crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so
well, Jake, speaking of falling drones from the sky, why don't you watch this thing?
All right.
A federal investigation is underway tonight after two Amazon delivery drones collided into a crane and crashed. Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us. For 12 News at 10, I'm Kariba Devine.
And I'm Troy Hayden. Mark's off tonight. Those crashes happened in Tolleson, not far from the fulfillment center where those drones were based. 12 News journalist Bianca Bono live outside that facility. What happened here, Bianca?
Well, I can tell you right now that Amazon has decided to temporarily suspend their Prime Air drone operations in response to this. Now, thankfully, nobody was hurt in today's crash, but a witness I talked to was not too far away when he watched this all happen. Amazon grounding its delivery drones in Tolleson after 2 of them collided with a crane and came crashing down.
That's kind of crazy to have happen right in front of me.
Gabriel Dahlberg says he watched it happen.
I just happened to be one of the guys that was looking right at it at the right time.
He's a diesel mechanic and was working in the next lot over from the crash site near Roosevelt and 97th Avenue, parking a truck when he saw a drone flying in his direction around 10 a.m. Wednesday. He also noticed a crane lowering what he believes was an AC unit onto a building.
The cable lowering the AC unit down was apparently in the pathway of this drone, and so I just seen it come and clip the side of the cable, which caused it to go down, and it didn't like move off course or do anything.
His colleague recording the aftermath.
It came down hard, it's probably 50 feet in the sky, and
Dang.
then smoke went up right away.
911 calls started coming in, prompting Tolleson police and multiple fire departments to respond.
This is the first of its kind that we had to respond to.
Sergeant Eric Mendez says their preliminary investigation shows that 2 Amazon drones were flying back to back heading northeast, and both crashed into the crane, landing around 100 to 200 feet apart. He says one person was treated for smoke inhalation at the scene.
Batteries did separate, but everything was accounted for there on scene.
The drones in question are Amazon's MK-30 delivery drones, weighing about 80 pounds each. The company officially launching its prime air delivery service in the West Valley earlier this year, serving customers within 7 miles of its Tolleson fulfillment center. In response to the crashes, Amazon says the company has decided to temporarily suspend drone operations as they work with authorities to investigate. The FAA is now leading that investigation.
The incident itself was pretty mind-blowing.
Dahlberg is thankful nobody was hurt, questioning the safety of this sky-high service.
Are they going to have to reach out to companies and make sure that they have to operate construction equipment, cranes and stuff like that under a certain level so they can still fly over them? Or like, how are they going to work around that? I'd say a lack of technology for sure.
And the FAA says it plans to produce a preliminary report within the next day or so. As for Amazon, it's unclear when those drone services will return to the West Valley. We're live in Tolleson tonight. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
All right, Bianca.
Oh, yeah. Very, very interesting.
Drones colliding. Those can actually like really hurt. I think it killed a little boy at a drone like show. It was so sad. I think that was here in DFW.
Wow. Yeah, you have more chance of getting hit by a drone nowadays than a meteor, so watch out.
Watch out.
Let's see here. I wanted to just mention this briefly. While we see such a rise in revival sweeping across America, right? You have churches are reporting unprecedented attendances spike as young people are getting to church because they've been inspired by Charlie Kirk, and we see things like this. Elon Musk amplifying Erica Kirk's "Go to Church" call, sparking a faith wave across America. And I thought that was interesting. There's also a post that I didn't have ready for today. I think I had it in maybe our previous live stream, but it's this. When Erica Kirk and Elon Musk tell you to get to church, right? Which church are you going to, right? Who it gets interesting because there's claims that Charlie Kirk was this close to becoming a Catholic. And I know Erica Kirk being a Catholic, we have now the first Catholic Pope that is an American. Wait, I said Catholic Pope. That sounds so funny. They're all Catholic, but the first American Catholic Pope.
No, the first Catholic Pope, Jake.
I know, right? I sound like a hard R. But anyways, whenever it comes to this topic of the revival sweeping America, and it's motivated by Charlie Kirk, and you have these figureheads saying, go to church, and it's leaning and swaying towards the bent of the universal church, right, under the Catholic flag. To me, it raises a question. right? Because not only do you see other major figures on the world scene strongly advocated for the Catholic faith, you have many Supreme Court justices are Catholics, practicing Catholics. And not only that, strong ties in the White House, like J.D. Vance, for example. No wonder he's such, a good friend and close with Erica Kirk. And, and then we see things like this coming out as we see Erica revealing her husband has recorded hundreds of hours of unreleased content, and they're going to carry the torch. And just some things that, to me, as somebody who's identified through my research some major issues with not only the theology and doctrine of certain institutionalized religions such as the Catholic Church, but the broad sweep of revival that is leading people towards that particular blend of Christianity, to me, is concerning. It's not that I have a problem with revival and life-changing, return to faith and truth and the public discourse that Charlie represented, but it's how this whole thing is being used that, to me, as a critical analyst of the way things are going, trying to view it through the lens of both biblical prophecy and hopefully a love for the truth over man's traditions, it's something that I have to mention to you guys. And I know I'm being very veiled about this, but it's because if you if you dig into it, you'll see what I'm getting at. On another note, I just wanted to mention this, which is pretty pressing. Bitcoin, the world's largest cryptocurrency by market value, hit a record high on Sunday and was up to $125,000. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Man, it's really a big deal because digital currency is such an important aspect of this revolution that's happening around the world, allowing people to engage in this system of commerce that has never existed before, that's not under the direct control of any particular government or entity, or Nero's face isn't on the coin, so to speak, right? So this is obviously news noteworthy. Here's a very quick mention. There was a blizzard hit Mount Everest just recently, and there's 1,000 people stranded or were stranded. I think they said there's several hundred have been rescued off the mountain already. But have you guys seen some of those videos of the lines and lines of people trying to get to the summit of Mount Everest? And it's like a total tourist destination now.
Yep.
No, but I don't doubt it.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. But anyways, just breaking news: blizzard strands thousands on Mount Everest. Well, you're on Mount Everest. It's probably really cold and blizzard-like up there already, but I'm sure it makes it much worse. Hey, this is a concert of an artist using some artistic surveillance techniques in their concert, where they put the faces of their audience up on the screen live using biometrics, facial identification or whatever. And I think it shows us the quickly advancing surveillance state that we're getting into. And, we'll just use it for entertainment in the meantime, right? Check this out. This is the crowd.
It's crazy.
It'd be bad if you were in witness protection.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy? Like, you're in the crowd. They're using facial biometrics, like monitoring software, to then project you as their background. That's something else, guys.
Yeah, that's insane. It's just showing you through a concert what they can actually do with the AI.
Exactly.
And they're
What-
making you think it's cool too.
Yeah. And you know, and along this lines of the surveillance state, there's something very important to pay attention to that happened in Vietnam. 86 million bank accounts closed because people refused to hand in their biometric data. Check out this little report.
The government closed 86 million bank accounts just because people refused to hand over their biometric data. Let that sink in, guys. 86 million people locked out of accessing their own money. To me, this is proof of where the global digital ID system is headed. Centralized, mandatory, total control for the state. And as scary as this is, you don't need to panic because there are things that you can do. Firstly, build practical independence. Land, water, energy, food, and a like-minded community. These are the 5 pillars of freedom that, should you need to, will allow you to completely disconnect from the system. Secondly, you can educate yourself and structure your life to create independence within the system, using tools like companies, trusts, private agreements, and constitutions to protect your freedom while still keeping access. And this is exactly why we set up the Wild Minds Network, a space.
All right, this guy's pushing his Wild Minds thing, but I thought I had a further coverage of the accounts in Vietnam that were shut down, but just, you know, basically bank accounts being tied to biometric data? What? Sounds like you won't be able to buy or sell unless you do something to your body. What could that be?
I wonder.
Democrats always love funding stuff for people's bodies. Here's a post Elon shared with like a raised eyebrow face that I thought was pretty interesting. You can't make this up. These are some of the things Democrats are demanding that we fund. $3 million for circumcisions and vasectomies in Zambia, $833K for transgender people in Nepal, $4.2 million for LGBTQ people in Western Balkans and Uganda, $3.6 million for pastry cooking classes and dance focus groups for male prostitutes in Haiti, $500K for electric buses in Rwanda, $6 million for media organizations for Palestine, $300K for Pride Parade in Lesotho, and $882 for social media and mentorship in Serbia. Check this out.
And basically, President Trump just said, we want you to take some stuff out of the budget that we think is wasteful. And we did. And that upset the Congresswoman. She's entitled to be upset if she wants to. But that really upset the socialist wing of the party. And so we took out, and here's what they want us to put back in. We found that under President Biden, they were spending $3 million for circumcisions and vasectomies in Zambia. We took that out. The Congresswoman says, we're going to shut down government till you put that back in. We found $500,000 of American taxpayer money for electric buses in Rwanda. We found $3.6 million for pastry cooking classes and dance focus groups for male prostitutes in Haiti. I kid you not. I'm not making this up. It was in the budget under President Biden. We took it out. Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez in the socialist wing, the loon wing of the Democratic Party, says we're going to shut down government until you put it back in. I'll just read you a few more that we took out. They are demanding we put back in. $6 million for media organizations for the Palestinians. $833,000 for transgender people in Nepal. $300,000 for a pride parade in Lesotho. $882,000 for social media and mentorship in Serbia. $4.2 million. We took it out. The Congresswoman and the socialist wing of their party says we got to put that back in for that open government. $4.2 million for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and intersex people in the Western Balkans and Uganda. I could spend the rest of the afternoon here. We took all that out. It upset Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez. It upset the socialist wing of her party. And now that wing of her party and the Congresswoman are threatening all other Democrats and saying, you've got to shut that government down until we get what we want.
Okay, so I obviously we've covered the DOJ exposing the different things that the left has been funneling funding towards over the years. And I think it's so funny because there's this dichotomy of secret black budget funding and what each side likes to secretly fund. So we have on the left, they're like, I really want to secretly fund a parade for prostitutes in Uganda or something crazy. And then on the right side, you have these black budget military expenses that nobody's privy to, which brings to mind this unmanned sea vehicle that just caught in a fisher's net off of Turkey's Black Sea coast. This was pretty interesting. Now, I don't know if any information has been found out about this, but it looks like some kind of technology that they accidentally pulled up in a fishing net. So it's kind of cool. So check this out.
Hello, Evie.
Yeah, so kind of a strange unmanned vehicle they just pulled out of the sea there. So that's pretty interesting. Did you see the clip of Ted Cruz saying the gaffe recently? Oh man, it's yeah.
I just saw a very wild clip. Politicians are no strangers to weird takes, but what Ted Cruz just said is so shocking. I actually can't believe this is real. I double-checked if this was like AI or like a bad lip-reading video or something dubbed over. It's not. He said it with his whole chest.
Senator Booker also said we should have bipartisan agreement. I think that's a great idea. We should have bipartisan agreement. How about we all come together and say, let's stop murders? How about we all come together and say, let's stop rape? How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles? I want you to look at what happened when the National Guard went to D.C.
What in tarnation? Pardon me? Can we roll that back? Put it on the Jumbotron, please? There's no way he just said that out loud, right? What a crazy Freudian slip. Or maybe not even a Freudian slip. It looks like he is reading off a piece of paper for his monologue here. He might have wrote that down as like a really strong stamp that he needs to get across here about people need to come together to stop attacking pedophiles. What? Teddy, sweaty and ready out here trying to defend pedophiles or some shit? Man, those Epstein files are never coming out, huh? Heavens to Betsy. Now, you have to imagine that's not what he meant to say. So you would think that he'd pretty quickly scramble to set the record straight so there's no confusion on where he stands. I don't think he wants to be known as Ted Stop Attacking Pedophiles Cruz. But he never goes back to like explain what he tried to express. Also, nobody in the room challenges him on it. Like, hey, Ted, quick question before moving on. Did you mean what you said at the end there? Like you said, stop murder. Okay, good. Yeah. All right. And then stop rape. All right, good. Yeah. No, rape's bad. Let's stop that. And then you said stop attacking pedophiles. And I couldn't help but be confused because, well, attacking pedophiles is good. Like that needs to happen more often. In fact, I'd argue we don't attack pedophiles enough. So what did you mean there at the end, Ted? But there is not a soul in this building that says anything about it, not even a peep. So they just move on.
Robbery fell by 57%. Homicide fell by 58%. Sex abuse fell by 40%. Those are real results. And Detective Pemberton?
Goober just carries on business as usual, as if nothing is abnormal about what he's just stated. No one in the room says anything about it, not even a whisper. That's crazy to me. Now, I attempted to do the impossible of putting together the jigsaw puzzle that is Ted Cruz's enigmatic mind, but that's like dividing by zero. I can't quite figure it out. I tried to understand like what he wanted to say, but fumbled based on the slide that he pulls up, which is stats: robbery, homicide, sex abuse. Homicide ties into the first thing he said about stopping murder, but then the second thing he says about stopping rape, well, that ties into sex abuse. The third thing, robbery, is not anything he ever said about stopping. So where the fuck does the word pedophile even come from? And how does the word attacking pedophiles even squeak out from between his foul butt?
Okay. What do you guys think he was trying to say, and why would he even say that?
I have no idea.
I just think that shows that people don't pay attention to anything that's being said.
No, what would be really funny, guys? If Ted Cruz used ChatGPT to write his speech, and it was just a hallucination that ChatGPT slipped in there, and he just read it as if it was like proven information. It's like,
what if he said it to see if anybody would correct him?
Was listening.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know. Maybe he said it because he was listening in to see who would say, "Amen, brother." And then he'd be like, "I got you. I got you.
Arrest him.
Arrest him.
Yeah,
He's one. I
maybe.
found one. I found one."
I mean, Trump did call his dad the Zodiac killer.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that was like in 2015 when he was running for president the first time. He kept calling Ted Cruz his dad the Zodiac killer.
Oh man. Okay, so here's just we got a couple more and we'll wrap it up here. This is a video of DHS law enforcement who's made over 900 arrests during Operation Midway Blitz in Illinois. To every criminal illegal alien, darkness is no longer your ally. We will find you. Now, we can all cheer it on now because it's the eviction of illegal immigrants. But I can't help but to have trauma memories surfacing of my time watching the Left Behind movies, watching police do this very thing, sniffing out Christians hiding in their basement, you know. And so to me, it's very dystopian to see this happening. And it makes me concerned, you know, because what if some of these people aren't actually illegal aliens and they get like scooped up and obviously, you know, that's not probably always the case, but it just, to me, the ability and use of DHS tracking down and, you know, and doing this while I support legal immigration and I'm against the fact that millions and millions of illegal immigrants have funneled into our country. A lot of those people, you got to remember, were invited by our government officially to come and vote for Democrats. So let's be, you know, a little bit gentle as we kick them out, right? We'll check this out. Now, yeah, obviously this ties into the war against the cartel, and these are likely gang members. It's just the scene of having DHS and all these, you know, officers going in and, you know, shining their lights on residential houses. To me, it puts an image in my mind that reminds me of like those Left Behind movies that I was terrified of as a child of the same scene, but they were chasing Christians in that one. And you know, I'm not trying to, you know, say anything negative against necessarily trying to clean up our streets and man, but it is a dystopian thing to see as it rolls out. And I can tell how the left is using this to fearmonger, and I'm just trying to help people see what's triggering both sides of the aisle here.
Yep. That's for sure.
Do you guys remember the thing we covered in our last week's episode, which had to do with Greta Thunberg and her her attempt to get to Gaza, and she ended up in Israel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a really bad haircut.
Oh yeah, yep. it's interesting because there's reports going out that she was being mistreated, and they're trying to trump up the emotionality of the story. I will say that this meme sums it up in a very funny way to me. World record. Greta Thunberg becomes the first hostage victim in history whose kidnappers' only demand is that she leave. Come on, we just want you to go home and stop. I will say, in watching the footage of those boats trying to make it to Gaza, you do see they're being contacted by Israeli forces saying, hey, you can't unauthorized drop off goods. Please show up to this port. We will check your goods and we'll make sure that they get to Gaza. So it's not as if the aid that they were trying to deliver symbolically isn't going to still get to Gaza. It's just that this narrative and the live stream of hundreds of boats, the largest manned boating thing to drop off aid in history, is some of what the articles are saying. It's creating this poetic narrative, I think, in the minds of people who obviously hurt for the starving people of Gaza, but also on the other side, the peace agreement we're seeing Trump and Netanyahu talk about. It's just all of these elements are interesting, and I can't help but have rebel Star Wars-esque thoughts when I look at the flotilla that was on its way to save Gaza. It makes me think of all the Rebel Alliance ships coming together to stop the Empire. And it's so inspiring, right? Well, yeah. Greta Thunberg seems to come around anytime these big stage moments are happening. We saw her several years ago in her UN address right around some other very significant world events happening. I'm not going to share this video, but this recently is Fauci admitting that what's caused this. And I'm not going to say any of this or say it out loud, but it's full circle. We reported on this and talked about how there's so much, and it's interesting that we're seeing things like this in the midst of that Capitol press conference with Trump and RFK and the head of Pfizer, and then at the same time you're having like the information be double. It's just, oh man. But let's see. I don't know, man. I think that's probably all we'll do this week.
I think I would like to play one clip if you guys want to laugh a little bit. Jake, are you into lost media? Like, do you like when people find like old clips that nobody can find anymore? Well, I recently stumbled across this channel, and Opa, if you can pull this up, it's Your Cat, and I don't want to give the rest away, but it's a very interesting clip, and I think everybody deserves to watch this clip.
Hello and welcome to the amazing world of cat massage. My name is Mary Jean Ballner, and this is my wonderful cat, Champion. In this videotape, you'll learn that your cat doesn't want petting anymore. Your cat wants a massage. And we'll be able to show you how, based on my book, Cat Massage. So continue watching, and you'll learn to bring on power purring and mega meow moments. When to cat massage? Whenever. Computer keyboards, on the couch. Cat massage makes TV commercials bearable. And of course, on the bed. Our best massage techniques were developed here. Cat massage is the easiest way to produce a cat smile and is a reliable source for cat giggles. Listen closely for cat giggles. Sometimes, cat will approach you for massage. You know what that's like. He's rubbing up against you. Or he'll simply give you a look that says, massage time. These are the prominent chest muscles seen on proud bodybuilders. Remember the old Simon and Garfunkel song? Slow down, you're moving too fast. That says a lot about life and about cat massage. No more boring. Now, let's look at pressures. Feather light. Barely make contact with your cat. Just feel for fur, like the touch of a fairy. When the purring becomes excessive, we call it power purring. Eyes blinking. Cat smiles. We've all seen cat smiles and they're glorious. Need we say more? Chest cupping. Champion and I did this as I was editing this script, and at one part, he wouldn't let me go. He was just sitting, resting, and purring, and I was typing one-handed. Drooling. In this case, a drooler is not a person specializing in rings and watches. Remember, you can't fool drool. Voice massage was created when I was at the computer and Champion wanted massage. We compromised and I sang to him, and I've been singing to him for over 12 years. One of our songs starts like this. Who's the best cat in the United States? It's you, Champer Damper. It's you. Use our song, change the names, or create your own. Wishing you power purring and mega meow moments always. Bye for now. Who's the best cat in the United States?
She for sure has toxoplasmosis. For sure, Jeremiah.
Who's the best cat in the United States? It's Charlie. All right, so a couple people wanted me to end with a couple Helen Keller jokes. Is that okay with you guys?
Yep, fine with me.
Jake and Opa, what was Helen Keller's favorite color?
Black.
Corduroy.
Corduroy?
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to find the funniest ones. Okay. How did Helen Keller's parents punish her? They rearranged the furniture. And this one is in honor of Lindsay's uncle. So shout out if you're watching. Did you hear about the time Helen Keller fell down the well? There's two answers to this. It could either be neither did she, or she screamed her hands off. And then there's some dirty ones that I'm not going to read on here, but they're pretty funny. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's Helen Keller jokes. And I'll come up with some more messed up ones if you guys want. I'll try to dig them out of the internet.
Oh man. Well, let's play our Truth or Con ad and wrap up.
All right. Opa, do you want to cue that up?
Oh, all right. Hold on. Press that one.
I think
Hey,
it
everybody.
also go ahead, Jake.
I was just saying, we still have a couple hundred people watching live, guys. Please drop a like. It helps us out, helps the channel out. Drop a comment or just say hi. Anything you do to interact helps our media be, promoted by YouTube. So I hate the repetitive nature of having to state it, but it's just how the system works. And people, come on, call to action. Just help the channel out. Drop that like right now. And we're just here to have fun. We're just here to talk about current events. And while we all have our own opinions, and you might think we're crazy and wrong or whatever.
Hey, we'd love to. We love your even if you disagree with us, we'd love to read them and respectfully disagree with you.
All right, here we go.
The reason why we're doing our conference, Truth or Con, in Dallas is because that was the first time the word conspiracy theorist was used to demonize people that thought outside the box, really questioned the narrative, and that Warren Commission report was the first time that they used it against us.
Truth or Con is a mixed bag of presenters from a variety of YouTube channels. And so what we're doing is we're having people come and present their best case for whatever it is they believe is the most important thing to share. And then we're opening it up for open questioning from the audience to question anything that's presented. It's a conference to have all of these different individuals who are well researched in their particular area that they present as an important truth to be able to be questioned. And then we're going to have a panel at the end of be able to cross-examine different speakers.
Got an awesome lineup. And yeah, guys, if you can make it out, 20 days away. I just put that together because I'm not good at math, but I saw 10, 5, 25, and I was like, oh, it's the 25th and 26th of October. So yeah, so stay tuned, and we'll see you guys. I think we're going to put out a interview that I did with a guy named Scott Michaels. who's an awesome dude, true crime dude. He's awesome. He helped work on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He's hard to describe, but he has a YouTube channel, and it's a really interesting interview. I think you guys are really gonna like it. So we'll put that out Wednesday, maybe, or whenever.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You guys will like it. Jeremiah had so much in his own interests that he shared with Scott Michaels. And we also interviewed Tom O'Neill, who's like the other side of an interesting coin related to the Charlie Manson topic. And so you guys should definitely be excited for that. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe, because it's coming out this week.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, let's let the old ad play it out, and we'll see you guys here in a couple days. We love you guys. Later. Something huge is coming. We're building the world's largest truther convention. It's called TrutherCon.
This is the place where truthers unite to explore knowledge, ask tough questions, to challenge the mainstream narrative.
But it isn't just a convention. It's a movement for free thought, open discussion, and the right to question everything.
We are bringing in some of the biggest names of the truther community, so expect deep discussions, mind-blowing revelations, and connections with like-minded truth seekers.
If you feel like the truth is being hidden from you, this is where you need to be.
And the best part, it's 100% grassroots, built by truthers for truthers, straight from our Skiba News Nation family. TrutherCon will be a massive networking event. I believe this is going to be the most exciting truther event ever.
October 2025 in Dallas, Texas. We hope to see you there.